Thanks for stopping in tonight. I know everybody is always so busy, but this is Sandy, Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona, and we are going to talk about wrapping those Christmas gifts. It is a fun topic, but very frustrating sometimes when you can't figure out how to wrap something. And I thought, how about we talk about it for a little bit and maybe you'll like some of my ideas. Maybe you guys have some ideas of what you do. And Charmaine is here. How are ya? And Julie is here. I usually give wrapping paper odd-shaped gifts and put them in bags. Oh, she gives up on odd-shaped gifts. Well, let's talk about bags first. It is an easy thing to do, you know? And, oh, Anne is here. Hello, Anne girl. And Troy is here. Good evening, everybody. And we'll just let people pop in as they come along. But let's talk about bags first. They're an easy thing. You can get them everywhere. But what if you got either the craft ones or the white ones, and you got a bundle of markers, and you let your kiddos draw Christmas things all over them before you put those presents inside? Now, an easy thing after you get the gift in there, just use a little bit of tape, put it on both sides of the little handle, one in the middle, and they can't sneak peek. But I love using things around the house, fun, silly things. In the chat, if you have a great technique that you use when you are wrapping your gifts, put it in there so people can share. And it is a cute idea because, you know, your kids or your grandkids, the kiddos, they love drawing. And get some markers, they can draw Christmas trees and Santa and stockings and candy canes and anything else their hearts desire. Plus, it makes them feel part of. A lot of times it's just easier for us to wrap the presents without letting the kiddos do it. Because I have seen some wild, crazy wrapping with my children when they were small. I mean, seriously crazy. But I've seen that same thing with Joe. I wouldn't say he is the greatest wrapper in the world. I love wrapping presents. In fact, sometimes my friends will bring me over gifts that they want me to wrap. And I just love that. I just find that so much. And that's an interesting topic. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Now, when we were little, not when we were little, when my children were little, and it didn't used to be that wrapping paper was the price that it was more expensive then, which is shocking because most things go up in price. But now you can get a great big roll of wrapping paper for $2 or $3. And if you wait for the 90% off sale, you can get it even cheaper than that. I've bought wrapping paper literally for 30 cents a roll now. I could have never done that when my children were little. So what did we use? The funny papers. That's right. Now this, just like the bags, I would let them draw Christmas things on there. The other thing that we would do is we would use stamps. So I would get a stamp pad that was gold or silver, something that was sparkly. And then, like this is a Merry Christmas one. This one is a Choose Joy. I love that saying, Choose Joy. And you can just wrap that present up. But before you do, just stamp away with those silver or gold stamps. And it just makes it very shimmering. Now, Julie says, newspapers cost more than wrapping paper now. Well, if that was the only thing you were doing with the newspaper, that would be perfectly true. I don't actually pay for my newspaper. Not down here anyway. My parents, my dad, he loves reading the newspaper. He reads it at breakfast. He reads it from front to back. And he just loves it. That's what he does. Madeline is here. Hey, girl. How are ya? Madeline, we're talking about wrapping paper. How we can wrap those packages. And so if you have a unique idea, put that in the chat. Because maybe we haven't tried that. But I do like using things just around the house. You know, I like using things from in my yard. Like at Christmas time, especially when I lived in Wyoming in the wintertime, I don't cut my flowers in the fall. There's a lot of insects that lay eggs in there. I like what it looks like in the snow or when it gets frosted. So I don't cut those. But when it comes to Christmas time, after I've wrapped something, I'll go out and nip those and hook them onto the package with a bow, and I love it. It makes it a very rustic atmosphere. I mean, there's many times that I have wrapping packages in just craft paper, just that brown craft paper. Sometimes I write on the craft paper with a gold or silver pen. I've written poems and sayings and scriptures and just all kinds of stuff. I've drawn on them because it just makes it a little unique and I like it. But let's talk about one of the hardest things to wrap. And that would be something that is a cylinder, right? How do you wrap that? Now, it's one thing to wrap it around the outside. That's pretty easy to do. But I have seen some crazy things on what people do on the top. You got to make it so it's not just bunched up, right? So let's do it. Okay, so this is the same size can as this one right here. Same size. And what I do is, based on the width, how far it is across, the diameter, that's how much I have to go up in my wrapping paper, right? So this is about 4 inches. So that means I need to go above this top about 2¼ 2½ inches, which is easy enough to do when you're measuring, right? And then what I do is about every inch, I cut right down to where the can is, right? So here you can see the can. And then all you have to do is you just start folding those over. And they'll just overlap themselves. And you just keep pressing it down, and see how it starts to overlap itself? This is a funny wrapping paper. And I'm just going to go all the way around. And just one on top of the other. And then I can just take just one piece of tape, because they're all overlapping, right? And I can just lay a piece of tape down. And then I can put a bow on top. And then I have my whole can, my cylinder, wrapped. It just makes it so easy. Now, sometimes you do, like Julie said, have weird shaped things that you have for a gift. I mean, just weird shaped. Easiest way to do is use a bag. You can use a bag that's got a handle, or you could use a bag that, like I have these gray bags. I don't know where I got them from. They're big. And so a lot of times if it's clothing, I'll just shove that in there. And then I can seal it up. And then I can go crazy. I can wrap ribbons and twine, and because use the things that you have. If you don't have any ribbon, Christmas ribbon, or any other kind of ribbon, just go out to your shed and get some twine. I love twine when you're using craft paper because it's just so fabulous, right? Now, I thought we'd also just talk about wrapping a box. Okay, so here's my crazy wrapping paper. How do you wrap it? Okay, so you're going to take the side where it overlaps, right? And that is what you're going to press down first. Now, when you get that, the best thing to do is just take a piece of tape. And you want to do actually 2 pieces of tape. One where the 2 pieces of the wrapping paper overlap. And then one just down farther, right? So you got that whole seal at first. Then you're going to push those corners in. And I like to just take my fingers and seal that kind of triangle. And then just stretch tight. And you can, once again, take a piece of tape. And I usually do one by where the paper is meeting, one in the middle, and one again right where that triangle that you folded. And it's perfect. Now, sometimes I get wrapping paper that I absolutely love. This is not one of them, but I thought the grandkids would think that was very funny. But if I love the wrapping paper, I'm very careful when I unwrap it. I want to be able to use it again. Sometimes it's something beautiful that I think, oh, I could paint something similar to that. Or like I have some really exceptionally crazy wrapping papers that I can use on other things. And so if I can save that wrapping paper, I will reuse it. So my $3 or $4 roll of wrapping paper can get used over and over and over again. Because if you have a big box, you got all that extra wrapping paper, use it again. And so that's just an easy way. I always like to overlap the wrapping paper. When I get to that edge, I want to overlap the bottom from the top. And I always turn under my wrapping paper so that it has a real smooth edge. Because sometimes when you're wrapping and you're cutting, that line is not straight. Back home, I have this thing, and I should have brought it down. And it's like this razor. You just start on one end, and you just go zip, and it cuts it all the way across. It's very smooth and very straight. And I love that. It does make them look like Tootsie Rolls. Now, if you wanted it to look like a piece of candy, you would just make this longer. And then you could gather it together and put a ribbon around it. And then it would look like a piece of candy because you would have it coming out on both sides. And I think that's cute too. Because there's a lot of things you can use. Cellophane is a fun thing to use. Sometimes I will take a regular wrapping paper, and then you can get cellophane in just clear. You can get it in sparkly. You can get it that has snowflakes on it. And so I'm literally wrapping it twice, which is it wasting wrapping paper? Yes, it is. But I love a beautiful wrapped present. A lot of times I will watch for the sales that they have, not just at Christmas time, but like when they're getting rid of all their fall flowers and plant, fake plants. That's 90% off. I like to buy some of those and just store them because I could add those on to any packages throughout the year. And I do love a bargain. That's all there is to it. Charmaine says that's what I do too. Like last year when we were home in Wyoming at Christmas time, Hobby Lobby had all their Christmas stuff on 90% off. And I just got a crazy amount. And then I'm not in Wyoming for Christmas this year. But I just stored it under the stairs, and I will use it a different time. Anne says, to me, the wrapping is part of the gift. I think so too. Now, I will tell you a secret, and some of you know this because I've talked about it before. My children can be very sneaky when they were little, wanting to know what their gifts were. Because you write their name on the package. And I can't even tell you how many times I could see that tape was rolled up a little bit. So as a mom, you have to be wise sometimes. And so I got my little notebook, and they didn't know where my notebook was stored. They knew I had a notebook. And so it said Angie's name, Alicia's name, Stephen's name, Tori's name, Grace's name. And every package had a different number. And it was all mixed up. So it wasn't like, oh, I have presents 1 through 5. No, that would be just too easy. And the children don't want somebody else opening their package. That's not fun. If they know, somebody else knows what you're getting. And so what I did is instead of saying Angie, I wrote number 1. number 8, number 16. And sometimes I make great big numbers, even though I didn't have that many presents. And they were totally mad at me. It was like, yes, that's what you get for sneaking in packages because you're not supposed to. And I didn't like it. Now, there's a lot of things that, like when I go to secondhand stores, like, look at these things I got. Now, this is the little box. It has a window that's a Christmas tree, has a little um little rope on there. And look at, so I can put small things in there. If I didn't want them to see inside, I could always color that or put a piece of wrapping paper. But it's a fun thing to be able to have a gift on your Christmas tree. Or maybe you stack a whole bunch of these on your mantle. So this is something that you can purchase, but you can put a gift in it. And you didn't have to wrap it. Well, Teresa is in here. Teresa, we're talking about wrapping. Wrapping, wrapping, wrapping. And if you have some things that you have always done, wrapping wise, that we could use, let us know. Now, have I sometimes had to use just the bags that they came in? You know, I bought something at JCPenney's or Sears or someplace, and time got away with me, and I just have a bag. I just have the original bag it came in. Can you use that for wrapping paper? Of course you can. Because kids don't really care. I mean, I'm the one who loves those beautiful wrapped gifts. And they do love them now that they're older. But when they're little, they just want to rip that stuff apart. Now, have you ever had a child that is very meticulous? And you're taking turns between the different kids on who gets to open a present next. And they are just opening it so softly and slowly. And it's like, oh my gosh, just do it. Just rip the paper. But when it comes back to the bags, they can't ripple it open as easily. But I literally have used the bag, taped around it so it bunched together. So then it has a little bit of stuff coming out. And then just put bows and ribbons. Especially if it's large, it's bulky, you don't have a box that it fits in, or you run out of time. What are you going to do? Improvise. You know, I mean, seriously, improvise. Like, if you don't have any ribbon, like, I have a lot of this. This is felting roving. I have it in a lot of colors, and I can seriously just use that instead of ribbon. You could have ribbons that aren't Christmas ribbons. You can use twine. You can use yarn. You can use all kinds of stuff. Charmaine says, we sorted out the gifts, and after all the gifts were handed out, my mom would say, go. And it was rip and tear. Everybody opened their gifts at the same time. See, that is fun. And it's not like my children have never done that. But if you want it to stretch out, then the one at a time. And when we went to my grandmother's house, my mom's mom, you did not rip and tear. She loved Christmas. It was like a serious affair with her. And everyone took turns. And you could see the kids, they're just like nervous. Their knees are going up and down. They want to open another gift. But you did not do that at my grandmother's house. Now, my other grandmother, at Christmas time, we got an envelope, a card, and $2. She was very poor. She lived on a farm. And I loved getting in those $2. I mean, $2 then, when I was little, is probably $20 now. Because I could do a lot of things with $2 at the time. But she just used an envelope. Sometimes I have given my children like Amazon gift cards. And with shipping, when we're down here, sometimes it's just like perplexed. You know, what do you do? Do you spend that money on shipping or you just send them a card? The nice thing about Amazon, I can ship it right to them and I'm not paying shipping, and I like that. So that saves me some money. Because I love the shopping, the whole shopping experience. I love the whole wrapping paper. I collect all of my stuff. So I have all my packages, especially when the kids were little. I'd lock the door in my bedroom. I got all my wrapping paper, all my ribbons, my tape, my bows, everything, and my little notebook. And I spend 2 hours or 3 hours just being crazy and wrapping things because I like it. I like wrapping boxes and boxes and boxes because it irritates people and they don't get it till they get to the small box. I like that. BP says, my husband did a lot of Amazon shopping, buying the Amazon wrapping service too. That's the thing, an option for people. They are bags and have been reusing these for years now. See, that's an option. That's great. Anne says, and yes, Amazon will wrap them for a price. See, that's interesting. Here's a side note for you. I did not know this until I was on Andale's live stream, and Jesse said, when you go to your Amazon store, or your Amazon, I have Amazon Prime. Joe did not see this because he doesn't have Prime, because I was telling him all about it. And you type in the search bar, haul, like a haul. And it comes up with all these crazy sale things that Amazon has. I mean, there were things for 52 cents, 63 cents. It was like, get out of town. And you can find some great little stocking stuffers. I ordered some stuff. It's supposed to come tomorrow. So I'll see the quality, see how it is. I was just like excited. I mean, totally excited. Oh, look at my mug. Warm winter wishes. Cup of tea. I tell you. One day I found all of these. They have tags on them still. And I got a whole bundle of them. I think I got them for $1 or $2 total. It was craziness. But things like this you can add when you're decorating and wrapping up your packages. And if you're making things that look like candy that you're going to wrap, and then you got extra wrapping paper on the sides, you squeeze it together, this will easily slide over where you squeezed it, and then you let the paper go back out again. And it is a perfect little thing to add to a Christmas. Okay, now let's take this situation. You're single. You hate wrapping. You could be married and hate wrapping. Oh, okay, and put that up, haul.com. But you can get it right on your Amazon. And so now, since I went into it one time, when I go into my Amazon, over on the left side, it says haul, and I just click it. And it goes to all these crazy sales. And you can go into different areas, garden, kitchen, house, electronics. And it is a crazy price. I don't even know how they ship it because it's free shipping. How do they do that? BP says, have you seen the new Trader Joe's tote bag stocking stuffers? Cute bag in a bag. I have not seen that. I'm going to look it up though. Okay, so you're a hater of wrapping paper. You hate it. You seriously hate it. So what can you do? You're a single guy. You're supposed to go to your parents, or you're supposed to go to your girlfriend's parents for Christmas. You don't have any wrapping paper. You don't have any bags. What are you going to do in a pinch? And Andale alluded to this. Okay. That's right. Aluminum foil. Do you know you can literally paint with regular paint or markers on aluminum foil? Your kiddos can decorate this. You can wrap anything. Okay, I got scissors. Let's wrap those scissors, right? Okay. It's done. You could wrap every single package with aluminum foil. Put some ribbons on it if you want to, decorate it. Have the kiddos draw things, because marker on aluminum foil is very cool. You want to know the other fun thing about this? Is that you can literally put it under your tree and it reflects all the lights. You know, you got lights flashing on your tree. The aluminum foil reflects it. It is fabulous. Okay. What else can we do with aluminum foil? I'm going to fold it in half. Oh, let's fold it with the shiny side. I'm folding it in thirds. I'm going to squeeze it together. But I can literally make a bow. And I can tape it onto that paper. You can just do these. You can literally make animals. Like if your kiddos love dinosaurs, you can literally shape aluminum foil to look like dinosaurs. You can make them look like butterflies and hook them onto your wrapping paper or just onto there. I could put a bow right on top. If you're a guy, you don't got any tape, just use some of your Gorilla Glue. Put it right on top of there. You are set. You have wrapping paper because you have aluminum foil. I find it just the funnest thing ever. But there is some wild and crazy things you can do with it. Okay, I got a marker. Of course, you can write somebody's name on it. But what if I wanted to, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I am making a candy cane. Looks like a question mark when I'm looking at it. Okay, I'll make it a question mark. It's just so silly. So much fun. And when they unwrap it, they can literally use it again if they wanted to. Or they can just toss it. And basically, it is cheap wrapping paper, and you don't have to use any tape. So it's just like, oh my gosh. Let's wrap everything this year in aluminum foil. Because it doesn't matter what shape, what size, you can just crunch that around and nobody sees what it is. Can you tell this is a scissors? Probably not. Looks more like a turkey leg. Oh, see. Could be a white elephant gift. That's right, because nobody would be able to tell what it is. Foil is always so unique. I know, it's just like crazy. You can go to the dollar store and get a great big roll of foil. And so you're not using your good stuff. Charmaine says, my granddaughter taped everything so much that there was never a spot to start opening the gift. She would watch us fight to try and open the gifts and would giggle and giggle. It was cute. That is so fun. I have to honestly tell you that I'm a little bit obsessive when I go to mail things. I can't even tell you how many times my kids have said, you got a lot of tape on here. And they're trying to open it all up. I can't help it. It's going a long ways, and I don't want anybody getting in that box. I got a box today, and the postman gave it to me. And at first I thought it said my address, but I think it actually said 1168 on my street. But there is no 1168. Was it my name? I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to return it to sender because they obviously typed in something wrong. And I asked around our little village, and nobody knew who that person was. So I just don't know who it is. So I don't know. It's a dilemma. So somebody's not going to get a package. It's going to go back to the sender, and then they're going to send it again. And I actually even went online trying to see if I could find that person, but I couldn't. Henry is here. Hi, Henry. How are you? We've been talking about wrapping paper, and the funnest one is aluminum foil. Henry, can you tell what this is? Everybody else knows what it is. I got a question mark on it. I started drawing a candy cane, but it looks more like a question mark to me. But it is already 30 minutes. Oh my gosh. I'm really going to have to consider having longer lives. But I know you guys are busy, and I so appreciate you guys coming in. And hopefully when this video comes up, we will have some fun ideas on people using twine and string and ribbons and yarn and different kinds of wrapping paper. But now you know how to wrap a cylinder. See, just put a little bow on top right there. It's perfect. You know how to wrap a box. So I hope it was a fun subject. And I'm going to let you guys go. Oh, one other side note. I am doing a challenge. And so every day you have to post 60 seconds or less, a short, for 100 days. Henry, we talked about newspaper. And so I am on day 9, and I hope you enjoy them. I have been doing it on both Suburban Homesteader Y-AZ in Arizona and Artwork by Sandi, my other YouTube channel, and on Instagram. So I hope you guys have a great day. Got to go fix Joe some supper. My hydroponic lettuce is huge, so we are going to have some stuff with lettuce tonight. Oh, and Anne, I'm making sourdough biscuits, and so my whole video with sourdough will be coming up. Bye, everybody.